a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago updates to our varying viewers on our varying platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and 102 on AMPLIA. Special good morning to you. Now, you know it's International Women's Day and your so-called favorite youth host is not with us this morning, but this morning we do have a young lady, a very brilliant, a very pretty young lady, and she's here to host with me this morning. So let me introduce you to Miss Janae Jones. Good morning to you, Janae.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Janae Jones, and it is a pleasure to be here this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you with me this morning. I know normally you are on the opposite side of the table because, you know, we had a few discussions before, but I'm really happy that you're at the side of me this morning to, you know, just bring in the youthful vibe about International Women's Day, or should I say the week that we're celebrating ahead of the day that just happened. So, Janae, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
Well, I believe it's a celebration of all women, females on a whole actually, and it's just a day to show appreciation for them for all that they have done and all the work that they are continuing to do.
All right. I join you in those sentiments. International Women's Day, you know, it brings out what the woman is. You know, we have started contributing to society in major ways, more ways than we used to. And, you know, it's just, I'm happy that there is a day to commemorate such, right? So I join you in those sentiments once again. All right, so before we continue, we'll have our news in 90 seconds. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 12th March 2025. Progressive Democratic Patriots, PDP, leader Watson Duke cautioned Prime Minister-designate Stuart Young not to act prematurely, reminding him he is yet to be officially appointed. Duke criticized Young's pledge to strengthen domestic violence laws, implying it undermined outgoing Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's efforts. He warned Young against suggesting past efforts were insufficient and accused him of verbal diarrhea. Duke urged Young to focus on issues like the better wages for domestic workers instead. He advised Young to wait for an official appointment before making bold legislative promises. UNC Senator Anil Roberts supports Trinidad and Tobago's Dragon gas deal with Venezuela, but insists it must be properly negotiated with a duly elected Venezuelan president. He criticized Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's and Energy Minister Stuart Young, claiming their dealings with Maduro lacked transparency. Rowley defended the deal, warning of economic consequences if Trinidad and Tobago loses its OFAC license. Roberts argued that Kamla Persad-Bissessar would handle negotiations better and pledged to reopen the Pointe-à-Pierre refinery. Persad-Bissessar also proposed a new body for local energy service companies to engage directly with the government. In some Caribbean news, Jamaican reggae legend Calvin Scott, famously known as Coco T, has passed away at the age of 65. He suffered cardiac arrest and had been battling lymphoma since 2019, along with pneumonia in the past 6 months. His wife, Malvia Scott, confirmed his passing, stating that the veteran singer died early Tuesday at a hospital in Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Coco T's death marks the loss of a beloved figure in reggae music, leaving behind a legacy cherished by fans worldwide. And that was your news in 90 seconds. So, Janae, it is everyone's favorite part of the morning, and that is the birthday segment. So we'll go straight into that. Let's get into our birthdays this morning. First up, we have the one and only Pastor Lowell Otley. A happy birthday to you, Pastor Otley. Now, I spoke to him prior to coming on to the show this morning, and he expressed, that this day is reserved for his birthday, a God-given day that God has blessed him with a new year. And I'm joining him in saying that you should have that much birthday blessings and that God takes you through this day. Miss DeRosa Kennedy. Happy birthday to you, Miss DeRosa Kennedy from the Youth Wednesday team here at Tobago Updates. Miss Kamaria Jones, a happy birthday to you, and I really do hope you enjoy the entirety of the day. And last but not least, a very well-known face here at Tobago Updates, Miss Liana Alexander. A happy birthday to you and God's blessings to you from the Tobago Updates family. And that is all for the birthdays this morning. Now, I know a lot of us are normally in a rush, so sometimes we may forget or we may miss the opportunity to be a part of the list on a morning. But a happy birthday goes out to you, and I really do hope that all of you enjoy it. Right? And the next year around, you can send in your photos to be displayed on our birthday segment. We're going to go straight into our rundown. So, Janae, we have an exciting lineup this morning. As it's International Women's Week, I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to take the liberty of saying we're going to look at women in various fields. You know, so we have women in communication, women in entertainment. And to represent those women, we have, firstly, Mrs. Ayana Carter-Brassey. She is a very well-known person. She is TTT journalist and producer. She will be representing women in communication this morning. Next up, we'll have Miss Adana Roberts, or Princess Adana, as she is famously known as, entertainer, singer, and songwriter, representing women in entertainment. And another woman in entertainment, Miss Chantel Ford, or Lala Lama, radio announcer and event host. So we have a really exciting lineup. I think a lot of us heard some names that we are very much familiar with and very excited to hear about this morning. So Janae, could you join me in telling the viewers to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter Weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, and we are back here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates, continuing the celebration of International Women's Day into week. Of course, we are happy to be with you here this morning. We are young women. I would say young women in hosting. What do you say, Janine?
I feel like you worded it perfectly.
Yeah, young women in hosting. I'll take that title this morning. And of course, you know, a lot of women in a lot of spheres are joining us this morning, as was mentioned in our rundown. We have first up Mrs. Ayana Carter Brassey. So just let's welcome Mrs. Brassey here this morning with us.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. This is a very familiar face, won't you say, Jenny?
I would say so, yes.
Thank you for being here with us this morning, Mrs. Carter. I mean, for our viewers who may not know, I don't know why you wouldn't, she is the news anchor for TTT and also one of the producers, right? So, Mrs. Carter, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your profession for those who may not know?
Well, I will introduce myself for those who may not know. I am Ayana Carter Brassey, but professionally I'm known as Ayana Carter. And I have been in the media space for just about 10 years, just over 10 years, and in communications in just about 7 or 8 years. I was in Tobago at one point. I mean, that's where my career started at Tobago Channel 5. And now I'm here at TTT Limited, where I am a journalist and producer. And yes, I also do anchor the news at some point. So yeah, that is basically me on the professional front. Yeah.
I think for those of us who may, you know, view TTT from time to time, this is no stranger to us, right? But thank you so much for giving us that professional introduction into what you do. So what inspired your journey to start on journalism, to get into anchoring on a whole?
I think that this is something that I have always wanted to do. My mother has always told me that they would put the news on, because in that time, I mean, I'm aging myself by saying this, right? But TTT was the only station at that time when I was younger. So when they put on Panorama, I would go to the front of the TV and I would be reporting with Dominic Calipasad and all of the other anchors on TTT. I would have my very own newscast for everybody. So I think I have always loved that, and it's something that I've never wavered from. I never wanted to be anything else. I've always wanted to get involved in media and communication.
Right, right. Janae, so there was some evidence sent to us, like every good journalist, there is evidence of such. Mrs. Brassey, my apologies, would have mentioned that from a young age she would have been giving her reporting on the panorama, etc., etc. I'm just asking the team to just bring up that photo evidence of Miss Ayana. Here we go. So, Miss Ayana, tell us about what is happening in this photo right now.
Well, clearly you see a big back TV, so this has been aged. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old here, and my mother took this photo. And if you see, it's very fuzzy, kind of black and white. Again, aging myself. But yeah, there's a story going on there, and I am there giving the news. I don't know what I was saying. I mean, she can't remember either. But
Janae,
yeah, that is me, and that's always been me.
doesn't she look like she's passionately giving the news? Like, there's some
Definitely.
heart into giving it
Exactly,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think, there is clear evidence that there was passion from a very young age to
And
get
this
into
is what she's
journalism.
meant to done.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, I'm happy that, you followed the path. Clearly that passion started from very young, and now you're I wouldn't say older now, you're young at heart now, giving us, what your passion is about in the public space, right? So,
I will take that.
right. So, for every profession, for every journey that we set out on, there are some challenges that we face. So what are some of the challenges? I know that sometimes when I get ready in the morning, I'm a bit nervous. That's something that I have to battle with before we start the show. But what about your challenges? What are some of the challenges that you face?
Well, I mean, I share your challenge because every time I have to do a report in front camera, it is something that is very daunting for me. I still get nervous. And I think that if you don't get nervous, then you're not doing it right. And I mean, besides that, I mean, I am a married woman and I have two beautiful daughters.
Congratulations.
So my challenge, oh, thank you, girl. But my challenge now these days would be more of a work-life balance. It's something that I think all women in every profession has to deal with, especially if they have a family of their own. And I mean, trying to strike the balance between being the professional that gives 100% every day and, keeping up with the news. I mean, not just local news, regional, international news. And then you have to be mommy every day, 24/7, and then you have to be wife 24/7 every day. Striking that balance is always very difficult. But fortunately for me, I have support system that understands the challenges of the profession because it's not an easy one. And they support me. I mean, right now we're here at after 7 in the morning, and my children are waiting for me so I could carry them to school right after this interview. So I mean, being a woman in any sphere, but I think particularly in media and communication, where this job is 24/7, just like the rest of your life, that balance is always difficult to maneuver sometimes.
All right, but I'm happy to hear that you are actually striking that balance because I mean, your children understand because they are sitting patiently, as you said, to drop them to school. And of course, there
And
is your
it's not
husband.
easy. Yeah, it's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy for them sometimes because they have to get up really early and go home really late sometimes. And my husband is very understanding, thank God. I married a good one. So yeah, that's important. Having that support is very important.
Yes, it is. And I must, as you share in my challenge, I share in your understanding on that we need a support system, no matter what sphere we're in, actually. But, you know, in terms of the early mornings and the late nights, we really do need that support system. Someone who understands, you know, children who understand that mommy can't be here at the time of the striking of the bell, right? Because I used to suffer with that sometimes. Sometimes I would be there sitting, everybody leaving, and I'm like, where is my mother? Right? You know, but I'm happy that your children are part of that support system.
Okay, so as we focus on International Women's Day, as you know, back in the day, women didn't have as much privileges as we have right now. So my question for you is, what advice would you give young women inspiring to be in the communication field?
All right. So if you are not passionate about telling other people's stories, and if you are not passionate about the industry itself, this is probably not for you. Oh, hey, I have not seen that photo in years. Just sharing it. Yes, I remember that interview. And yeah, I mean, it's something. Media and journalism and communication is such a dynamic and
Yes.
interesting field. And if it's something that you are not interested in for the right reasons, then I don't advise that you do that. But if you are in it for the right reasons and you feel that passion and drive to really change and oh my God, listen.
Oh, this is our very own William Nana posing up with Mrs. Ayana Carter Brassy. You know, clearly you are known face yet
I have
Tobago
not seen those
updates.
photos in ages.
I think we have to blame our team for bringing up those photos on screen this morning. For whatever reason, they found them wherever. But I'm happy that they did. You know, it shows your journey. It really does.
Yeah, and I mean, William has been around for the journey for a very long time with me, actually. When I first moved to Tobago, he was my first friend. So, you know, he taught me a lot in the whole
Right.
journey of media and stuff.
Let me use this experience as a
Yeah, but I'm not sure if
learning
I finished answering the
experience.
question though.
Oh, okay.
You can go ahead.
You want me to repeat the question for you?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so what advice would
no,
you
no, no,
give?
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're not in it for the right reasons, I mean, as a media practitioner, you are responsible for um, giving the right news at the right time to the people that you are giving this to. This your public, you know, and this is regional, international. In this time of social media and increased technology, this news is going to be worldwide. And you are that face, you are that comforting person, you are the person who they can turn to give reliable and correct and accurate information.
Yes.
And so you have a heavy burden really when you're in this field, whether it be in active media or in corporate communications. And you know, persons depend on you, and that's not always quite easy, and it's sometimes very thankless. Um, you have to be the motivator for yourself and try to remember the reasons why you do this on a daily basis, or else, like I said, this is probably not going to be for you.
All right. I think we could share in that. You know, Janae's at a level where researching on a whole, getting the facts together, dating those facts, all of those things. We both are at levels that we understand the struggles of having to dig and dig deeper and making sure everything connected and it
And
you
there's a
know
whole subject dedicated
exactly.
specifically to research.
Yeah. So, you know, it's all of that I understand, but then your extra burden would be now to present these facts to the actual public. So now you have to deal with the, I would say, nervousness of presenting to the public as well as having the correct information. You know, that in itself is a challenge on its own. It's a together challenge, a duo challenge that I personally, you know, salute you for as a woman in this here field, right? So
Yeah.
My question is, honestly, this is a genuine question. What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? Right off the bat, my children. Firstly, my children, because I have two daughters, and if it were not for them, I want to make the world a better place for them. Their generation is growing up, and it's going so fast paced. There's AI, technology is going at a pace. Um, Geopolitics. I mean, everything is going so quickly for them that I want to make as much difference now in a positive direction so that they can have a path to walk, whether they choose to be in media and communications or if they choose to be a mechanic or a hairdresser or whatever their passions are. I want to ensure that as a woman that I make the way clearer for them and so they keep me going. And of course my family keeps me going. And then the many people that I meet on a daily basis whose story who's I'm so thankful that they trust me with their stories and they trust me to relay the information to them. um, they keep me going as well because the kind of trust and depend they depend on you, and I don't want to disappoint them at any point in time. And they keep me going as well.
All right.
Okay, so going back to the previous picture that was shared, you guys are saying William. Now, I'm 17 and I have no clue who that is. But the way y'all are speaking, I feel a little bit jealous that I don't know who it is.
Yeah, yeah. But for the viewers who may not know Mr. Nana or Janae being one of them, as she said, William Nana is one of our managers here at the studio, actually, at Tobago Updates. So, the production that's happening, some of the ideas that you see streamed, he is one of the masterminds behind it, right? So him standing next to somebody like Ayana, I mean, this says a lot. And then she's saying that, he was a major part of her journey. I think this is a very significant thing for Tobago Updates on a whole, because he plays, of course, a major role in Tobago Updates studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So Janae's smiling. She understands now, the hype behind having Mr. Nana stand behind or stand next to Mrs. Brassy. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
He's a powerhouse in himself.
no, that's facts. That's facts. So let's dive into your routine, your workspace. I mean, you mentioned that a lot of it having to drop your children to school, etc., etc. So when the drop-offs and everything happen, and it's now time to go to studio, take us through that routine. What you have to do to get ready for show, etc. I know in the background of all of this happening here at Tobago Updates, our mornings are pretty busy. How are your mornings at TTT?
Just as busy. I mean, I think that's not going to change. I get here and I start to work usually immediately. Whether I have to go out on assignment, I do that, I cover that, I come back, I write the story. And at TTT, we have several newscasts. So it's not just about the 6 p.m. newscast. We have 4 p.m., 12 p.m., 8 p.m., 7 p.m., 6 a.m., and 7 a.m., sorry.
Wow.
So my responsibility is wide in that regard because now I have to ensure that there are stories in there, and especially if I'm producing one of the newscasts, that's an additional something that we have to do. So on top of writing the stories, when you come back from assignment, you now have to produce the newscast. So you have that added responsibility. Our team here is fantastic, so they make the work a little easier, a little more enjoyable than some days it could be very tough, so there's always somebody here that you can bounce ideas off of. And that is my day all day. I mean, it's either you're writing stories, you're voicing stories, you're getting makeup done, you're heading down to studio. I mean, there are a lot of different variables, it changes throughout the day and throughout the week.
I think when people see us come on TV, there is the hype of being on TV, you know, but there is a lot that happens in the background before coming on set. You know, people they're quite frank, I would say, you know, in what has to be done in the timekeeping. When we come to studio and the time is, you know, quickly winding down to when we have to start, you know, somebody's shouting the time in the background, your makeup artist now quickening, you know, the whole set makeup and everything that has to be done. And, you know, there is now you to have to come and set up to come and actually present to people, and then you sit down and you have to make this look normal. Like, yes, I was always sitting here waiting for you all to start, you know, so I get the business of the routine. I am first-hand witness to what this routine looks like, and I share with you that it can be a lot, but when you balance yourself properly, it actually, you know, comes through. It makes you a better person as a presenter to the public. Yeah.
So I call it organized chaos.
You see, Janae nodded hardly at that. That is true. Organized chaos. As long as it's organized and not very much chaotic on the chaotic side of things, I think we're okay. We can work with that.
I mean, sometimes it leans toward chaotic, depending on the situation at the time.
Yeah.
It could, you know, veer a little bit more toward the chaotic part of things. But again, you have a great team. You lean on your training. I was fortunate to be trained by several persons, including Wendell Constantine. I've had training with Kalipasad. You know, I mean, a lot of persons would have, Dr. Paul Richards would have trained us as well. So it is, I mean, they help you prepare for the things that you may not be able to predict. And as much as possible, you need to predict. But in the times when things are organized chaos, you need to know how to present yourself still. And the people that look at you on television, they don't need to know that your mic not working, or you can't hear your director, or the stories change suddenly. There's a change in script. You know, what you're reading on the script is probably not on your prompter. They don't need to know that. They look at you and say, you know what, I'm going to sit and I'm going to look at this person in front of me, and they're going to tell me the truth.
Right.
And that is what it is.
I think what is important as well is having a contingency plan to what could actually go wrong. We can't eliminate the fact that, you know, there are errors that would happen during the casting of the news, or the interviewing of a well-renowned reporter and journalist like Miss Ayana Brassey, right? So, you know, you can't eliminate those things. I think having plans set in place to know what to do, etc., etc. I honestly am joining you in everything that you're saying this morning. I totally understand, right? So I'm going to be a little snoopy right now. How do you filter? Yes. How do you filter your stories? Like, okay, we're saying that several people come to you on a daily basis or weekly basis, however it may be, with several stories that they want to bring across to the public, whether it be negative, something in the positive light, something in between, as is journalism is very colorful. How do you filter your stories on what to present? How do you eliminate the ones that you shouldn't and choose the ones that you should?
Well, I think as a journalist, that comes with your training. So, I mean, are there stories that you should not present? There's always a way, you know.
Yes.
There's always a way. Even the person who you think is not making sense makes sense when you really sit down and you think about it within the context of things. So it's never really an issue where a story is not a good story. You just have to find a way to make it something that persons can relate to without losing the essence of what the person told you.
Right.
You know, or to tarnish or diminish their story at all. You know, so it's just a matter of training, and you strike your balance. I mean, I think that might be the word for the day, balance. You know?
Yeah. It is. The reason why I asked that question, because I saw the eyebrows, you know, kind of squinch to say, you know, this question seems like one that, you know, should be rhetorical, if so to speak. You know, there should be this obvious answer to it. But the reason why I asked, you know, sometimes reporters take to Facebook first before, you know, they present the actual news to whatever body that they represent. So, you know, you would see comments like, why did you choose this story to present, or who asked you this question, or what going on with these facts, this type of thing. So that's why I asked, is there a filter that people should follow, in terms of presenting? And if there isn't a filter, now that the public is viewing, a lot of them are viewing, they know why everything is publicized on, that person's page, etc., right? So
even though something may not matter to you, the subject matter may not matter to you, it matters to somebody,
right?
And you have to reach people whose voices are not as loud as others. Your responsibility is not just to the persons in the front. Your responsibility are to persons who in the minority as well. So, I mean, the issue of why oppose that, why that is an issue. Somebody might be saying that and then thinking, oh, thanks for this information. But, they're going with the crowd. And like I said, you have to cater to everybody. I mean, there's a saying that says you're not double, so not everybody will like you. Or is it cake? Something like that. You're not a dessert or something like that. So not everybody is going to like you. And sometimes your story is not popular with the masses. Right. But that does not mean it's not something that is not worth telling.
Yes. And what I would say as well, to add on to what you said, is that sometimes the little stories that we think are very little or maybe insignificant to you, it might be a fact that leads up to another major story. So as you said, every story is relevant. And thank you for the clarity that you've brought on that, Thank you for being a woman that speaks up on that point. Yeah? All right. So thank you, Mrs. Brassey. Yes. Thank you so much, Mrs. Brassey, for being with us here this morning. I know that your children are waiting for you to take them to school. So I wish you a very safe journey on your way. I wish you a great day and, success to you in all your future endeavors. Thank you for being with us here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates as we celebrate International Women's Day into week, right? So thank you so much once again. Viewers. Yes. Viewers, before we leave, you know that we normally feature a great picturesque place in Tobago. This photo has been presented by Mr. Brian Kennedy. And I know that a lot of us are aware of where this is. This looks like, Janelle, what you think? This looks like a drone footage, no?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've captured...
panoramic view.
Yeah, there's everything there. I mean, so this is the museum up at the
Fort King George.
And we could see the lighthouse at the side there.
Yeah.
This is a really lovely picture.
It is.
Because it it also captures, the background. When you go up to Fort King George, there is this view that you have of Scarborough. Everything is there. Everything is just plain to see in this photo. So, Mr. Brian Kennedy, thank you for gracing our screens this morning with this lovely picture of the day. Yes, I say congratulations to you for capturing such a moment. All right. So, viewers, before we continue on, I ask you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Viewers, I think a lot of us here just waiting for this interview, we got lost in the rocking of this song, right? So welcome back to our viewers here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. I think when I mentioned the rundown this morning, there was this excitement that built in your soul when you heard that Adana would be here this morning. And she, of course, is. You know, that introduction to that song, I mean, you all might have been singing, but believe you me, she was singing as well, right? So we are all happy, and I am joining everyone in this excitement in introducing you to Miss Adana. She was, well, I mean, I know a lot of us know her as Princess Adana, but she has recently, I wouldn't say recently, but in some years, she has gained a princess of her own. So she has taken on her actual name, Adana, and given that princess title to her little princess. Yes. Right? So let's welcome Miss Adana here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. There are 2 princesses now. Yes, I have a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh,
yes, so thank you for having me.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Adana. Good morning. All right. So, you know, we want to know a little bit about Adana. What do we think that we don't know about Adana? Because let me tell you, there was a battle before the show started, you know, who was saying, you know, she doesn't carry princess. No, she's Adana, you know. So she's here. She clarified that for us. But I wanted to, you know, share a little bit about herself. Tell us about your profession. You are, of course, well, we know you as a woman. Yes. But what about yourself you want to tell us about this morning?
You know, many persons know me as the recording artist, of course, radio personality. It's been well over 15 years since I've been a radio announcer, and 21 years in the industry of reggae, soca, soul. Apart from that, I am a mom. Persons don't know. Persons usually meet me and ask, Adana, how do you do it? How do you get on stage? Do you get nervous? Yes, I'm nervous all the time. I'm somewhat of an introvert. But, you know, because of my passion and because of my job, I kind of have to really psych myself up to go out there, get on stage, and to face the audience and be brave. But usually I'm very timid, very reserved, and I'd rather be behind the scenes, but I love what I do nonetheless. Yeah.
Okay, wow. I'm actually in shock that
A lot of people are. A lot of persons are.
There is no horrible at all performance that you have ever given. Everything is always full of vibe. You know,
and it's giving, you know, I accustomed doing this. I'm
like
nervous.
I have to psych myself up. There are times where I'm backstage and I'm pasting back. My friends would tell you, and they have to be like, Adana, settle down, relax. You know, so the nerves is always there.
Wow.
So, but you know, in good faith, I always get on stage and deliver and do what I have to do.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you're saying that this is your passion, but my question is, what inspired you to get into this field of entertainment. Especially with the fact that it is male-dominated?
It's male-dominated. One, I always envisioned myself as a child because I grew up around a family of singers. We would sing a lot at home. In church, my mom and my dad were both ordained ministers in the church, so we would sing all the time. Never mind, I'm the last child, and my elder siblings used to be like, hush. But we see who turned out to be the singer, right? So I always dreamed, and this is as real as I can get. I remember I was asleep, and I'm dreaming that I'm on stage facing a sea of people, and just this mic stand in front of me. And I was singing. And that is when I knew, and this was at a tender age, I believe, between 3 and 5. I believe that this is what I was born to do. Heading into secondary school, I joined the drama group Theatre Arts. Ivor Smart at the time, at this one summer camp, he heard me humming along the hallways. I always used to be humming, always singing something. And he was like, you know, you have a beautiful voice. And he gave me my very first song. It was a calypso, Too Many Crime in This Country.
Right.
And I went on to win a number of competitions with that. And that is what propelled my career in music.
Right. So you just mentioned So Smart there. I had no idea, you know, because
Ivor
So Smart this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very great musician, and it's really nice to hear that he helped one of our own.
Yes.
You know, I mean, everybody loves Adana songs. I don't know about you.
I don't know about you.
Yeah. Right?
Thank
you mentioned that, you know, sometimes you have to psych yourself up to get on stage.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you would face as an entertainer in the field itself, and of course when you're going to perform?
You know, I I think I'm at the stage where I no longer like to speak of the challenges.
Right.
But I believe that it's something that needs to be said. I am coming into entertainment because I'm of the darker hue and I don't fit the aesthetic or what persons deem as frontline artists. I had to fight a lot for people to accept me. I even had to fight to accept myself. You know, apart from that, being a woman in the business, being it's a male-dominated industry, you always have to prove yourself a little bit more. You know, you always have to perform extra. You always have to dress a particular way, speak a particular way, interact a particular way. So those were some of the challenges I met in this business, but none that I couldn't overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think need I say, I'm going to be very frank and blunt with this. Somebody who still thinks that because of the color of your skin,
yes.
you shouldn't be on the front line of
Or it
entertainment.
determines your future.
Or it determines your future.
career.
You are backward. Okay?
Yeah, I think we have moved away somewhat from that. We see the melanin movement,
Yes.
we see the black beauty movement and all of that. I'm really happy that we are moving away from it. There's still some stereotyping, there's still some boxing in, but you know, everything happens over time, so I'm happy with the progress we're making over time.
Right. I'm actually happy for you because I mean the challenges that you have overcome to the point where you don't even see them as challenges anymore. You are doing great.
Thank you.
Let me just put that in there and to all the
How would we live if
if
she
Adana,
didn't?
Yes.
Oh my word.
like how could you do that? Yeah. So you know, I'm really happy that there was a point of overcoming, and now you are at a point where you could just say, you know, I'm
Comfortable
Adana.
in my skin.
Yeah, I'm
Love the skin
Adana.
I'm
Time to
in,
go on
yes.
stage. My music speaks to me. My personality speaks to me. Very great person.
Yes.
You hear it everywhere. You know. I mean, you know, you are now an example of the fact that melanated women do things too.
And
you
I
know?
think too that your character, the person you are, should speak more about you than your physical, you know. I take pride in always being a courteous person, very respectful. Anyone in my circle could tell you Adana is the most caring person you would ever meet, you know, very selfless. So I believe my character, it speaks for itself.
You know, sometimes they tell you that you shouldn't meet your heroes. Because sometimes, like, you know, they're this type of person on TV, and then when you meet them in person, it's like
too
this big
different.
disappointment.
Listen to me, that has been a challenge everywhere, because persons would see me in the streets and be like, wow, you're totally different from what we see on stage. I'm like, I'm just me.
Yeah.
Ordinary Adana.
Right. You know, I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
So could I ask, like, I'm being a little bit nosy here, but
Sure.
what is a typical day like? What is a regular day?
Let me tell you what my day is like. I cannot remember my days before being a mom.
Right.
So I wake up at 4 a.m. I get breakfast and lunch prepared for the kids. I rush, because usually we're late, as you can see. Drop them off to school, and then I go to work. I am also pursuing my degree. So while I'm at work, I'm trying to get my assignments done. It's assignment season. When I come home from work, I take care of the kids. I attend classes. I try to go to the gym. And then somewhere between that, I'm interacting with my manager for music business. Because I do have an EP, soon launching a reggae EP. So we're working on that at the moment.
you know, I think that, you know, is our station the first station you've mentioned?
First station. I was not going to say it, but
we lucky.
Reggae EP is coming soon, and you can look forward to some favorites being re-recorded and re-released as well.
Of course, right? You know, we can't leave out the favorites, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that, you know, you heard it here first at Tobago Update Studio.
Especially Wednesday, the Youth Wednesdays.
Specifically Wednesday,
Yeah.
Youth Wednesdays, you know. Youths are shining out. Adana is a youth herself, and I'm happy that, you know, she mentioned that on our program here this morning.
Definitely.
Right?
It's a pleasure, guys. It's a pleasure.
So, what keeps you motivated? Because, I mean, it's a lot.
It is.
You said that, you know, there is back-to-back routining. So you go from dropping off the kids, then you go into, should I go to gym? Should I focus on my degree at this point? I need to get to work on time. You know, so what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
You know, self-motivation is the key for me. You know, if I can't be motivated in myself, then who else?
Right.
You know, the external entities, they are secondary too. You know, my kids really enjoy seeing mommy perform, seeing her in her element. They too are my inspiration. And just the fans, the persons, the well-wishers who always come into my DM. Like, for the past couple of weeks, I've been having persons coming in, Adana, don't stop. Adana, we miss you, we love your music and stuff like that. So my fans, they're also my motivation. But I will say that if I did not love doing this, I would not be doing it today.
Very true.
So my drive and my passion and my love for this is what keeps me going as well.
Right. I think, I join people in saying that, when you don't love what you're doing, every day will seem like
It's
work.
hard.
But I'm happy to hear that there is a passion in entertainment for you.
Yes.
That this is not just a job, but this is, a way of how I want to live.
I've never done, like, persons are shocked when I say I've never done anything else. From school, from the age 15 till now, all I've done is entertainment. All I've done is music. So I don't know any other way or anything else.
So we look forward to hearing more of Adana. She just highlighted that reggae EP that's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're waiting as viewers here on Youth Wednesdays, or viewers that normally view us on our varying platforms. We're waiting for that special launch, that Tobago Updates has been invited to first.
Y'all will be at the launch, I promise. It's going to be big. It's going to be nice.
All right, so we look forward to hearing more of Adana. Adana, thank you so much for being with us here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. It's always a pleasure having, one of our own gracing our screens. Definitely. Yeah. So as we continue on, Adana, I'm asking you to do that special thing I asked about earlier.
You did?
Yes. So let me hear it from you.
Share the life, share the life. Won't you share the life?
Thank you so much. I don't know how much better that could have been sung.
Share the life, guys.
Share the life.
Yes.
Share the life. Share the life. We'll be right back.
That you used to see, expanded my horizons, fulfilling my destiny. Yes, when I reflect on the past, see the things that held me back, but now I'm moving forward. So from this day on.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Youth Wednesdays, we are continuing on with our morning show, Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. Viewers, thank you for staying with us. I know it's a little past 8 o'clock, but of course, we couldn't leave this stage without you seeing the well-renowned Lala Lamar. Right, and we're continuing with Women in Entertainment. So I just want to introduce you to, formerly, Miss Chantel Ford. Yeah, but most lovingly, most known as Lala Lamar. Yes. You might have heard her voice every now and again because, I think she's the vibe between the music on 92.7, in and out, right? So we're really happy to have you with us this morning, Miss Ford, or should I say Miss Lala? So I think the curiosity in Ginny and I, the first question, I think I'll start off with that one, what inspired the name Lala Lamar?
And also, is it an alter ego?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Firstly, let me say, I usually call Wednesdays Woman Crush Wednesdays. And it's so amazing that you guys have me here today, to speak about myself.
Yes, of course.
All right, so I'm giving myself a little props on the shoulder for that. Lala Lamar is an alter ego.
Okay.
It is, I must say. And also, Lala Lamar stemmed from Latifa, because that's my middle name. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And Lamar is because I'm in, should I say this? I'm in love with Kendrick Lamar. So I took the both and said, here's what, I have a first name and a last name here, and I'm gonna run with that.
Right.
So I ran with it, and nobody actually calls me Chantel anymore.
It's no Lala?
Those are my family members. Call me Lala. And I'm telling you, people who will usually say Chantel, nobody says that anymore.
Okay.
It's all about Lala,
I
Lala.
call her Mrs. Lamar.
Don't call me Mrs. Lamar. Call me Lala.
I think she'll blush too much. I think she'll give a response after saying that, But so you're saying that even when you're driving and stuff on the highway, wherever
Lala.
you are.
Everybody's Lala.
Wow.
Lala. Nobody actually knows that my name is Chantel. So here in on Tobago Updates, people are like, what? I'm positive that most people will be saying that.
I promise you, after this interview, if I call you Lala and you don't answer, I'm going to shout Latifa Lamar.
No, you can't do that. you are not allowed to do that.
All right. So, what inspired your journey, to being a radio announcer?
My grandfather is a writer and a producer as well. And from a child growing up, I've always had a passion for music.
Yeah.
I can't sing like my dear colleague, Dana, but I've always had a strong passion for music. Even though I was doing exams and so forth, you'll always catch me watching BT. You all remember 106 and Park, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, I think I will.
Janae.
Janae, come on. So I would always, be that one looking at 106 and I'll be, go to the library, go and study. And I'll be like, go to the movies. I want to see 106 and Park. Even when we had the newspapers, I think it was Showtime. That middle page, you usually have an artist.
No, this is where you have to tell me about that. I'm joining Janae.
Oh, no. I get so old. But nevertheless, they used to have like sounds in the Showtime papers. And I would always cut it out and rewrite it in a book and so forth. And then I grew up amongst big DJs in Maloney Gardens. Upstairs with Junior Mafia, then we had Dangerous Robin. I don't know if you guys know about those DJs, but yeah, they were, part of the journey. Junior Mafia did not leave me. When they recognized that I was interested in this, they brought me into the station and, give me a little tryout. Let me get a feel of, the atmosphere and so forth. And that's where it all began. I pursue it by going to school, because I went to radio school, because I believe that even though you have a passion, it's very important to have a paper, because the paper will get you in any room that you need to be. So I decided to go and, pursue it in school, and here I am.
Yes, I want to join you in saying that, it will be very disappointing that you have a passion, but you can't pursue it because you didn't study in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I actually, that is a very strong point there.
Yeah.
Education matters.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it really does.
It
so
does.
if you know it's your passion, but you don't like education,
try again.
Thank you.
Try again.
Right? So, in every field, no matter what field, whatever field we're in, challenges will always face us.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you faced?
Before I speak about the challenges that I face and is continuously facing, I want people on the outside, especially young girls who may look up to me, to don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Because even though we feel as though we get so many no's as a female in this industry, there's always somebody that's going to say yes. For instance, the Tobago updates, they say yes to me today, right? I didn't go, but yeah.
Yes.
Some of the challenges that I would have faced and is still currently facing is, I feel as though they think, promoters think that a female cannot carry a show. We are more deemed to be people who will probably host a public event or a government event and so forth. But we do more than that. And I step myself apart by that. I don't know if you all recognize my style of radioing. I can, but I don't. I specifically like the night shift for a reason, and people don't understand that.
There's a different vibe in the night.
Yeah, I specifically love that night shift.
Yeah.
Yes, I have the opportunity to work prime time or daytime or however you put it. But for me personally, I connect with a different crowd, and being able to connect with that crowd, it's far more than just a salary, and people won't understand that. So for me, the challenges will always be there, because in life, our journey must have some level of challenge, So I don't look at those things.
Yeah.
I just know that one day somebody's going to say yes, and I've got a lot of yes in between the no's, so I don't take that on, and that's it.
So we have this thing that we do, this share the life. I think you just saw Adana sing it for us just a while ago. Yeah. So before we go into that, I'll make this scene for you, because I know when the music pulls down, she speaks. When it comes up, she allows the music to play a little bit. I think that's a part of the training thing that you do there. Right. So before we go to that setting that I'm going to create, team, get ready with a song that she can pull in and come out and speak for us. Yeah. Before we do that, before we go, what motivates you to continue going?
The people.
The people.
That's
a very simple answer.
Yeah,
but it is true.
Y'all don't even know, boy. I wish I'm so happy that I'm able to share this here.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get so many no's, you be discouraged. You feel as though this don't make sense to me. I'm not getting what I want out of this. I'm going spinning top in mud, for better words. But you'll meet people on the road who you may not know. And they'll say, Lala, look, the hyper one. Now, these people give me this name, right? Because I'm saying, if they only knew how quiet they will doubt. It's a totally different person on radio. And I'm happy that I'm able to not only portray, but give people that energy, because sometimes people need a refreshing air, So that's it, basically.
All right. So while she was speaking, I don't want to say I was distracted. I wasn't. I listened to the last point you made.
Right.
But I'm very excited for this part that she's about to do for me now. So I think the team is ready with a song. So what she's going to do Your statements are share the live, share the live, share the live. Right? This is Youth Wednesday on Tobago Updates. You know, and you'll say that three-way part at the end there. Right? So are you ready? Team, are you ready with the music?
I'm gonna try.
I mean, even if you don't have the music, do you want to like give us a little hype? Share the live, share the live, share
But
the live.
I can't really. They have the music. If they have the music, we'll go, man. Let's go.
Can I have a cue on the music? Right. So they're ready. So cue in the music, please, for La La Lama.
I'm so excited.
You're
Yeah,
excited?
I am. And right now, you know, I'm getting, you know, when the pause raising kind of vibe, and you know, I'm trying to get that hype fed.
Right.
We're ready? So while we're waiting on the music,
Yes.
right? While we're waiting on the music, if there is a young woman or you know a young person trying to get into this field, what piece of advice would you like to leave with them?
Don't hesitate. Come, we need y'all.
Right.
We need you. We don't need another Lala. We don't need another AV St. Hill.
Yeah.
We need you. So come, certify yourself. This is your passion. Come, and we want you.
Janae, I think I'll work on our name. You know,
Yeah.
it could be like Jay and Natty, some kind of vibe. Something like that.
Yeah.
We could join Lala at
Yeah,
92.7.
we
I think
We
that was
never
an
said she
open
can mentor
invitation.
us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so we have the music. I'm getting the cue. So, team, when she's speaking, you know, we have to do it like the radio station. You carry up the, you bring down the volume, and when she's not speaking, you carry up the volume. I get it right?
Yeah.
Yes. So she's ready. So you're saying share the live, share the live, share the live 3 times, but you're saying it in your hype voice.
All right.
So go right ahead. So I think this is the volume here.
You know, you have to feel it first. You have to feel it. Come on, let's pop on it. Come on. That's right, guys. Yours truly, Lala Luma, alongside our youth host. And I'm saying, share the live, share the live, share the live. All right?
All right. Thank you so much, Lala Lama or Miss Chantel Ford, for being here with us on Youth Wednesdays. And she actually brought us with that exciting hype right down to the close of our morning show here this morning. So viewers, as she said, share the live, share the live, share the live. Up next, we have Good Morning Tobago with Miss Chanel Felix. Stay tuned.
I'm so filled with the pride, it's the feeling inside. I'm loving the skin that I'm in, yes.
So happy International Women's Day to all the women in Tobago and out throughout the world. The theme this year is Accelerate Action. And that just simply says supporting the women and young girls in whatever that they are doing. We not only, besides supporting, we need to get together, embrace each other and go out there and do what is supposed to be done to assist all women and young girls.
This year's theme for International Women's Day is embracing equity, and as you can see, we are embracing equity at this point in time where all the ladies from the various services are together here at the Tobago I Love Tobago site.
Good morning to all of Trinidad and Tobago. I am Lisa Hamilton, Acting Lieutenant Fire Officer Lisa Hamilton, and I am a first female in the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. We trained on the 1st of December 1992, and I'm still here representing the first female in the organization. Females for the Women's International, it means a lot to me because women have been part of the backbone of this country, whether we acknowledge it or not. But we exemplify power, also control, where we are part of the system in this country where we simplify things. People don't see it that way, but we bring simplicity to complexity. And we are here breaking the glass ceiling, going forward for the future in Tobago. Thank you.
3615 Firefighter Roberts attached to the ambulance section fire service.
Number 4365 Firefighter Divisions attached to Blue Watch Scarborough, Tobago Division. We are celebrating Women's Day. We just want to say that woman is power. We are here to show our dominance and woman all the way. Thank you.
Hi, so today we had an awesome day. It was eventful. We met a lot of women who continue to break glass ceilings, who continue to carry the stance and thoughts of women, who continue to move away from detractors and naysayers. So we would have learned a lot. We would have met, as I said, beautiful women, and we encourage them to continue to strive always for excellence.
About to sign today will ensure that the three agencies work together, understand each other's role. There will be no duplication of efforts. Where one stops, the other begins. We cannot do it all, so we need the support. And this will ensure that we have things documented, set down in writing, where there's clarity.
The TRHA and the executive management of the TRHA is committed to providing the resources that are integral in making this collaborative effort work, because ultimately we are not the beneficiaries of this MOU. We are the stewards of the MOU, which is birthed in order to protect the children of this island.
We have come to the place where we see this not as a Children's Authority MOU, but as a tripartite MOU, where the three entities come together and we say this is what we are responsible for as it relates to the nation's and the island's children. And that is critical because it means that we now are taking full responsibility, all of us. We're not saying it's Children's Authority that's supposed to do that. We're not saying it's TRHA, we're not saying it's the division, we're not saying it is not my responsibility, it is yours. We are saying collectively it is our responsibility to ensure that this child is safe.
Does three things. It reduces that interaction of the child with three different agencies, so we don't re-traumatize the young child. It provides a seamless legal coverage for the child throughout the entire case management process, and it helps all three agencies document this case appropriately, so that when it comes for the review which may happen through the legal system, we have each other's role clearly spelled out and the documentation therein.
This is really setting the pace for what we really want here on the island of Tobago. It really is a passion of mine in terms of enhancing families and children. So this occasion right here is just the start of us really trying our best to see how best we could provide support for children and families with the different agencies that are involved that have signed here today. So honestly, I'm really, really excited. As we say, this is the step in the right direction for us here in terms of child protection in the collaboration with the THA and the TRHA here today.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But we have our special International Women's Week celebration here on Tobago Updates this week. And what does that mean? That means that I'm joined by a special co-host as well as special guests. But before we get into that this morning, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke cautioned Prime Minister designate Stuart Young not to act prematurely, reminding him that he is yet to be officially appointed. Duke criticized Young's pledge to strengthen domestic violence laws, implying it undermined outgoing Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's efforts. He warned Young against suggesting past efforts were insufficient and accused him of verbal diarrhea. Duke urged Young to focus on issues like better wages for domestic workers instead. He advised Young to wait for an official appointment before making bold legislative promises. Additionally, UNC Senator Anil Roberts supports the Trinidad and Tobago's Dragon gas deal with Venezuela, but insists it must be properly negotiated with a duly elected Venezuelan president. He criticized Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Energy Minister Stuart Young, claiming their dealings with Maduro lacked transparency. Rowley defended the deal, warning of economic consequences if Trinidad and Tobago loses its OFAC license. Roberts argued that Kamala Persad-Bissessar would handle negotiations better and pledged to reopen the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery. Persad-Bissessar also proposed a new body of local energy service companies to engage directly with the government. And finally, in some Caribbean news, Jamaican reggae legend Calvin Scott, famously known as Booker T, has passed away at the age of 65. He suffered cardiac arrest and had been battling lymphoma since 2019, along with pneumonia in the past 6 months. His wife, Malvia Scott, confirmed his passing, stating that the veteran singer died early on Tuesday at a hospital in Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Coco T's death marks the loss of a beloved figure in reggae music, leaving behind a legacy cherished by fans worldwide. And that was on News in 90 Seconds. As indicated earlier, we continue with our International Women's Week celebration here on Tobago Updates. And what does that mean? It means that we're delving into a number of conversations with a number of impactful women. And this morning I am joined by Inspector Mahalia Bacchus, who is another outstanding woman in service. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. And thank you, Tobago, for having me this morning.
Excellent. Well, you are no stranger to the set here on Tobago Updates, but you are often a guest.
Yes.
But this morning you are my co-host.
Yes, I am.
So I want to welcome you to the co-hosting seat. So this morning we hope to have a live, engaging discussion where we are chatting with women from Tobago who have been dominating in their field and in their industry. And so this morning, I'll give you the privilege of introducing our guest this morning.
Sure. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, after earning her undergraduate degree at the University of West Indies at St. Augustine and her MBA from the sunny Buffalo, New York, she worked in New York before returning to Trinidad and Tobago as the Director of Marketing at Automotive Components, which was then part of the Neil & Massey Group of companies. From 1995 and for over 25 years, she has dedicated her career to international development with the World Bank. She also completed her Juris Doctor at Georgetown University Law Center. And in her final 4 years of her tenure at the World Bank, she served as the CEO of the Global Food Security Partnership, a public-private partnership focused on promoting global cooperation for food safety, capacity building in low and middle income countries. She also spent 4 years as the Global Director of Agriculture Development at DuPont Pioneer. And currently, she is the founder and CEO of Live with LA, a company dedicated to facilitating insightful, engaging, thought-provoking discussions on development. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Miss Lystra N. Antwine. Welcome, Miss Antwine.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a privilege to be on Tobago Updates.
Excellent. And we know that even with that introduction, we still have not yet scratched the surface of some of the things that you have done.
Yes.
However, we want, for those persons who do not know you and you feel like even the introduction may not have done justice to the persons who have not heard of you before, tell us a bit about who you are and a little bit about your upbringing in Tobago.
Sure. I am from a real daughter of the soil here in Tobago. And I grew up in the Bonaccord area, went to Bonaccord Primary School. At the time, my mother was a teacher there. And from there, I went to Bishop's High School. So I feel like I am born, bred, baked, rebaked Tobagonian. And even though I spent a lot of my time outside of Tobago, in terms of a lot of my professional career, even in those times, I spent a lot of time home. I mean, every single year I was home. There wasn't a year that I wasn't here, and some years for as much as 5 or 6 times. So Tobago has been my place of grounding. It's certainly the place where I learned the core values that have shaped my entire life. And particularly even growing up with a mother who believed in God and shared that faith with her children. My faith then has been what has anchored me and steered me over time. So I think if there's one thing that I want our viewers to know, apart from all those accolades, is that I am really a Tobagonian girl, born and bred, very proud of this island and of our country, Trinidad and Tobago, and fortunate that I've had excellent role models, excellent teachers as I came up, and even to this day, excellent support. And as we support and as we celebrate this week, International Women's day, I think the theme for this year, Accelerate Action, is something that we each could take very seriously. And I don't mean just women, I mean us all, men and women, as we accelerate action to actually make a difference no matter where we are, no matter who we are.
Excellent. And so tell us a little bit about Live with LA. Tell us a little bit about
Live with LA. Well, you know, with Live with LA, I would be where you are, right? Because I would be doing all of the moderating and the interviewing and so on. So Live with LA was designed really to foster these types of discussions. Of course, I had been on the other side, the seat I'm in now, for most of my career, especially at the bank and at DuPont and so on, and with the Global Food Safety Partnership. But once I retired in 2021, I determined that, you know, I wanted to continue to ensure that I too was doing and shining the light from where I was. And so Live with LA is literally that we're having discussions live, and LA is just, those are just my initials. So it's Live with LA. And that endeavor, that company, I have moderated a lot of discussions, whether for the World Bank or for the FAO, for several embassies in Washington, D.C. And it's usually, you know, when you say development, whether we're talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, or we're talking about, you know, climate change or agricultural development, or what are the needs, you know, so it has always been my pleasure to sit where you are and really tease out interesting discussions with persons who are familiar, who are making an impact, who are making a difference. Because to me, we need to share and spread the light more on those persons who are actually making a difference, because we each can learn. And whether it's individually or corporately or as a country, you know, on a whole, there's a lot that is happening globally that we can learn from, no matter how well we're doing or no matter what stage of development we're at. So that's what Live with LA is all about. Yeah.
Excellent. And so how did you make that transition from being in communication and marketing into getting into the World Bank and getting into development?
Development, yeah. So when when I came back, I was done with my MBA. And I actually, at the time, I was upstate New York working in National Fuel Gas, a company upstate. And at the time, I went, I think perhaps my very first international conference, but it was in Canada. So it was a stone's throw away from Buffalo, New York. And there I met officials from Neil and Massey, and that's how I came. But even as a young person growing up, I was always very interested in anything new, exploring, you know, understanding or pushing even the boundaries of my own learning. Always very interested in, okay, what is out there and how can I, wherever I am, make the best of where I am and contribute fully. And so at that time when I came back, I had to be honest, it was not like my dream that I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go work at the World Bank. But in keeping with my own personality, which is, you know, I'm prepared to explore, I'm prepared to see what there is out there. I went back to Washington, D.C. while I was at Neil and Massey and spent, I think, 2 weeks just in the summer on vacation. And at the time, I met these persons actually through my church who worked at the World Bank. And so when I found out about the World Bank, I thought, oh, well, this sounds really very interesting, because I've always been passionate about helping people, about ensuring that people have the best standard of living and standard of care. I grew up very poor. I come from very humble beginnings, but that never made me feel insufficient or less than. My mother always said, you know, you've got to do what you got to do before you get to do what you want to do. And so when I went to DC and I learned about the bank, I thought, well, this is really interesting. And so in keeping with my nature, I said, okay, you know, let me check and see if there are jobs open. And I applied. And that's the beginning and end of the story. I applied, was hired in 1995. I came back to Trinidad, wrapped up, and then left for the World Bank. And it's something that I have never regretted, because the World Bank provides, it's not like your regular commercial bank. It provides loans and assistance to countries for their development, whether in any sector, whether it's health or infrastructure, or agriculture, education. And so there's a wide gamut of stuff that one can do at the bank. And I benefited from that significantly. So, that's how I ended up at the bank, but I knew I felt that it was my calling. It has been. And so development for me has been at the core of who I am. How do I improve the human condition no matter where I am?
Lovely. Excellent. And so even as a woman in leadership and academics, because I see that you also jumped over to law.
Yes.
So tell us how you ended up going from communication, marketing into the World Bank, into development, and then jumping over into law.
Yes. Well, I think one of the things, and I hope that women listening here would understand that really the sky is the limit in terms of what we can do if we put our mind to it. I think back to our watchwords, I think for this country, right? Discipline, production, and tolerance. And let me tell you, I think those watchwords can take us very far no matter where we are. Yeah. And so sometimes I think as young people, I think us older people like to ask young people, well, what do you want to be? And sometimes I think that really freaks young people out, because they feel as though they have to have it all sewed up. When they are either in high school, they need to know exactly what. But I think the most important advice that I would give to any young person is, whatever you're doing, do it well. If you're in a technical vocational institute, do it well. Brighten the corner where you are. So for me, as you said, I went to the University of the West Indies. I left. I did my MBA, a Master's in Business Administration, and that's where the marketing came in. Yeah. I also went to Mona, Jamaica, and did mass communication actually. So I came full circle after many years back into mass communication with Live with LA. But having done an MBA and having worked at the bank, my initial calling, I always wanted to be a lawyer, but we didn't have the means for me to go to, at the time, Cave Hill, to be in law school. So it was always a dream of mine. And so when I, was a professional, I still had that desire. I was now in an international environment. I was in Washington, D.C., and I determined I wanted to still go to law school. And so I applied to, actually at first, New York law. But then I was actually, when I was accepted this day, and the next day I realized that I was carrying my first child. And so I was not about to leave Washington, D.C. to go to New York. And so I applied to Georgetown Law and was admitted. And so Georgetown, of course, has one of the best international law programs. So at the time, it worked very well for me, because then I could marry my international law working right in the bank. And that's what I did. So when I was done, I did a lot of international law programs in Europe and Central Asia, particularly Turkey and Bosnia and Herzegovina. And that, so for me, it's all worked well. I think for those looking at career or a legal degree or a master's in business administration allows you to do, it prepares you for anything that, that you can find to do. You don't have to think of a legal career as only litigation or, working in a law firm, or you can do so much. And so that's, I think, one of the key things that for me has been important, even as with all of that, I continue my faith journey, because that for me is about the most important aspect of who I am. It's, I have values, but they are deeply intertwined with my own belief system, which is grounded in, understanding that we are here to be God's hands and feet, and not just his hands and feet, but really to do unto others as we would want them to do unto us.
Excellent.
So I'm sitting here and I feel so inspired listening to you. You know, you're making me feel like if I want to do a lot more, and that I can do a lot more. And I also see that you have been working on wellness. That's the next direction. What has inspired you?
Yes.
So look into that direction now.
Yeah. So, you know, when I grew up, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. And so I've always had a deep respect for seniors and a love for seniors. And I watched my grandmother as she aged. She became more sedentary, more alone. And then, of course, she passed. My own mother, who, when I think about the women who have motivated me and caused me to be where I am today, I pay her all honor and respect. Of course, after my Lord. But my mom also, became so alone in a sense, right? In her latter years. And you see, I think here in our country, we somehow put our seniors out to pasture very early. I think 60 is very early, especially since that's where, I'm asking, I don't want to be put out to pasture right now.
60 is pretty young.
It is pretty young. And so the center is focused on providing a facility, a residential facility, where seniors, we're talking, any adult who decides, look, I want to come, I want to have experience an exceptional quality of life where I can come, I can exercise, I can have healthy meals, I can live at this center, I can live in community, because I think that's something that we lose. As we age, we lose community. And when we lose community, our cognitive ability declines and declines very rapidly. And I see that in so many of our aged, so that even though they are one day, fine, in a very short space of time, they decline. And I think that's one of the lessons that I've seen and learned from other places outside of, let's say, Trinidad and Tobago. Here we have a custom, or we have pride in taking care of our loved ones at home. Most of our loved ones say, no, I don't want to leave my house. But what is the level of care and what is the quality of life that our seniors have living by themselves? And so this facility called Copper Canyon Wellness Center is designed as a residential facility to provide independent living and assisted living. So if someone comes and they want to basically live there, go as they please, but have all of their meals prepared, be able to access all of the activities, the gym, the gardening, all of our games, all of our social activities, they can do that. And those facilities are sort of like a little apartment. But if someone wants to be assisted, our only concern is that they are ambulatory when they come in. So they must be able to walk in. They might have to walk with assistance. That's fine. But it is not a geriatric facility, or it is also not hospice. So this is not end of life service. We're not a medical facility providing end of life service. So we actually want people to come in and choose to come to live with us, choose to come and live in community, choose to come and experience a life that they deserve after spending so many years giving back to our community, right? So now it's their time to be pampered, to be given exceptional meals, to understand that if they want to have a cold plunge bath, and we know this is very therapeutic now, our center would offer that, if they want to get up today and decide, look, I want to just relax on one of these patios, and, I want to be able to engage with my loved ones who maybe are away or who are right here. We have the facility to do that. They can WhatsApp them, they can FaceTime them, we can do, videos, because the entire center is accessible by Wi-Fi. We have an elevator so that persons can go easily throughout the center. and we have mobility aids that we would provide as well. So all of the rooms are en suite with their own bathrooms, and they're all air conditioned. So it is designed to provide exceptional comfort for our adult
And
seniors.
where is the?
It's in
facility?
Idlewild. It's in Idlewild. Yes, it's in Idlewild. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to come back and continue with our discussion. So, guys, we're going to see you soon.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter Weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. We continue with our International Women's Week special, and we have been chatting this morning with Dr. Lystra Antoine, and this morning I'm joined by my co-host, Inspector Mahalia Bacchus. So good morning and welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right. So, Dr. Antoine, we have heard a lot about you and what you are doing, and I am so happy about the wellness center that you have here in Tobago, because in our later years, it is very important that we are taken care of.
Exactly.
Because the folks that are going to be treated to this, they would have taken care of other persons. So I'm really happy to hear about that. But to the rest of the public who is listening, how can they get in contact with you if they need to get more information about the Wellness Center?
Absolutely. So the Wellness Center, we have a website, and the website is Copper Canyon Limited, that's LTD, COPPERCANYONLTD.com. That's the website. We also have email, and that's Copper Canyon Wellness Center, everything spelled out, at gmail.com. They can also call 739-6591 or 683-9590. So we ask people to go onto the website. There they'd be able to see the rooms, see what we offer, see the facility, see what we expect. And we're also suggesting that persons act now. Don't wait, because the center is filling up.
Yes.
So you've got to get out there and choose to come to live at Copper Canyon, because this is going to be a place that would ensure that you are well taken care of and that you're not just put out to pasture. We expect that our residents will be fully engaged, and we plan to engage them, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually. We plan to ensure that there are activities and there are things, especially if someone came in with a professional past. We want to ensure that we can have these little, you've heard of TED Talks. We're going to do our own TED Talks up there and be able to engage those seniors who are with us, who come in with skills. If someone came in and, they had a fantastic cooking career, why not? We want to engage them. We want to have discussions between the seniors and the younger generation to say, here's how I did it. Here are the watchwords I used to be where I am, because there's a lot that we can learn from history. And one of the things that I'm really happy about is that the name Copper Canyon is really an ode to our seniors. The copper, as we know it here in Tobago, that sits in front of the building was in my family for generations. And so it was a great honor for me to bring that copper whole and place it in front of the center, because once again, it is just a salute to our seniors. It's a way to say, where we are today, we are where we are because of all the work and all of the vision of our ancestors. And so we must never lose sight of that.
That's so correct. Yes, true.
And for you, when you look at all the work that you have done throughout your life, I mean, you have moved from one stage to the next seamlessly, touching base on a number of different industries and sectors, and having impact on a number of lives. Well, what would you like for your legacy to be?
My legacy. That's a very good question. Difficult one. I think for me, when I think about my legacy, I really hope that the lives that I've touched positively, that to me is about the greatest legacy that I could leave, that I have. I've taken the time to mentor young people. I've taken the time to teach. I've taken the time to be taught. Because no matter what stage we are in this life, there's a lot that we can learn from others. And one of the other things that I hope, and it has always been something that meant a lot to me, is that no matter the accolades, no matter the achievements, that it is said that I remained humble and a people person, because that to me is really one of the most important things that we can do in this life. If we touch lives, but yet we remain humble. You know, I never call myself, anything but Lystra. I accept, the handles, but for me, my most comfortable salutation when you're addressing me is just Lystra. Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice. Yeah.
And
Love
Inspector Bacchus, I want to thank you so much for co-hosting with me this morning. I truly did enjoy having your company and also interviewing Lystra this morning.
Yes,
right?
you got it.
we really did.
And I really enjoyed being your co-host as well. And this interview, you really inspired me this morning, Dr. Antoine.
Well, you know what? I hope that we can raise our hands in the International Women's Day salute and say accelerate action here in Tobago. Yes, so let's accelerate action.
And even for you, Inspector Bacchus, I know that, even as a part of some of the stuff that you do on this side, you have written some songs. And as it pertains to International Women's Day, you have written a piece. And it will be great if you can probably share that with us this morning.
Fantastic.
If you're willing.
Yes, I am.
All
And,
right.
I love to celebrate women, especially when they are doing good, even though when they're down, to lift them up, and I've seen women rise above the occasion. I've broken so many glass ceilings, even within my career field, being a police officer, so it's just a little snippet of something I looked at back then, It was not so long ago when man used to run this show, and woman, we had to take a stand back. But nowadays everything has changed. I said the story now rearrange. And we women, we now running this show. We women have taken a stand. We're running side by side with man. And there is nothing that they could do. We go win the race, and that's true. This is a woman invasion. A woman invasion. This is a woman invasion. A woman invasion. Take a look at the doctors. Take a look at the teachers. Take a look at all them ladies. Take a look all around. Woman sitting in them high position. I say we moving fast and we moving strong. So
Excellent. As a former teacher myself, I'm very happy to hear you include teachers in there because I tell you, they labor lovingly. Yes.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you, lovely ladies, for being here this morning and for all the work that you continue to do. And we want to thank our viewers this morning for continuing to stay with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have done and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster right here on the island of Tobago. And again, from us, we want to say happy International Women's Week, Women's Month, and just women prosperity and elevation on a whole. As my co-host said, women are taking over now, and there's nothing that you can do about it, right? Again, guys, we had a lovely time with you this morning, and we want to say thank you so much for, just being loyal to us here on Tobago Updates, because you have made us your choice. So when you're having your tea on a morning, when you're on your way to work, you have made the choice to stick with us here at Tobago. So we want to say thank you and have a great day.